Welcome back to Scrap Mechanic Labs. I am your host, Chief Engineer, and today we're going to be talking about different steering systems. Now, we take a sort of a practical view at steering here at the lab, and what I mean by that is generally less is more, but we don't want to use less to the point to where it compromises our functionality for whatever task we're trying to accomplish with our vehicle. So we're going to go over 3 primary ways to rotate your vehicle, not including using thrusters and WASD converters, because that's just not a very fuel efficient solution unless you're flying around somewhere, which is outside of the scope of the video I'm trying to make. I'm talking about land-based vehicles for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at tank steering and how that works. We're going to take a look at glitch steering and the benefits associated with that, and the consequences also associated with it. And we're going to look at a camber type steering. This is sort of like the halfway point, camber steering, if done correctly. It wasn't even a subject until I discovered a builder recently who had done such an incredible job with his camber steering system that it pretty much brought about the creation of this video. So I know you guys like to be informed. I know you guys want to be the smartest duckies on the planet when it comes to scrap mechanic. Stick around because we're going to talk about these 3 things right after this. Alright, welcome back to the lab. We're going to start off with glitch steering. For me, glitch steering has always been a classic type of way to get your vehicle turning. It is so easy to implement, and all you really need is to box in a spring like I'm doing here. Make sure the end of the spring is on a bearing, and then just connect the bearing to the seat. It doesn't get much more convenient to set up a way to steer than with glitch steering. Now, there are some caveats, alright? And that is, it can get a little crazy sometimes. And sometimes you turn a little faster than you want to. And even though there are settings on the springs, I myself haven't really noticed too significant of a improvement in the steering quality by adjusting the spring. So I mean, if you bring it down to 1, it just still seems the same as when you have it at, I don't know, 20. Yeah. So another advantage of glitch steering is you could work it into your builds in the most interesting ways. It's a compact steering system. It's not too important exactly where that steering system is on the vehicle. So if you're a model builder, you could build your models, get in, and have it steering in no time. Now this, of course, will need a bit of stabilization, which I've implemented into it to give me a little more control over that glitch steering. So glitch steering, when done right, added a little stabilization to it, can be really fun for all your models. I see a lot of glitch steering in a lot of builds. The next thing we're going to look at is tank steering. Tank steering offers phenomenal control. This tank steering, I know I mentioned it before, technically I don't think it's a full WASD converter in there, but just enough to hit 2 triggers so that you can adjust the speed of some of these bearings here. And it's basically a differential type steering. So you have some bearings that are being rotated while others are being counter rotated, and it's a pretty complicated webby mess to achieve something that, if you want to be technical, you can achieve it with just a spring. You get the same rotation type. What we're nitpicking about here is the amount of control we have with the speed of your rotation and so on. Whereas if you really wanted finite control to your rotation, really tank steering is the way to go. It is wonderful if resources aren't an issue and you can have 6 engines. Then you're going to want to set up a tank steering setup, which when I first discovered tank steering, it was all the rage. I loved it. But like anything else, it can be a significant investment in resources for this type of steering system. So keep that in mind if you're doing a tank steering with this traditional type of tank layout here. I mean, it handles like a tank, it really does. So if you really wanted to recreate that tank feel, that heavy solid feel, tank steering is definitely an option for you. Now we're approaching what I call the middle ground here. This, let me see, it was called a land sweeper. This is the land sweeper built by Mr. Wizz. Now, what he did here was downright ingenious. He set up the wheels so that they're tilted, but that their range of contact with the ground will fall within the 30 degrees that you're given with your turning system. Now, naturally, you have a 30-degree turning system. Let me drive out to a place where you can see the wheels better when I do this. So let me move over here to this little patch right here. Yeah, this is good. Now, if you look at the wheels, you'll see they're angled, and that's very important. That's a very important part of the build. It's an intentional thing. When I press W, you see how the wheels cut. Excuse me, I'm still trying to get over this cold. Okay. When you press W, you'll see how the wheels are angled so that they cut into the ground with just enough of that angle to give it that forward direction. If I press S, they roll back, skidding backwards along the ground. Now, if I press A, it creates the tilt. And what happens is the wheels on the right side of the vehicle, considering where I'm facing, will still stay driving the vehicle forward. Oh my goodness. Just died, Chief. Okay. We need to start this over again. Let me suck on a cough drop. Because this is how sick I've been, guys. I have not been able to even put up a video in like 4 days. Alright. Enough. We're not a rant video. This was really cool, and I wanted to show you guys how this worked. Alright. I know it's pretty self-explanatory, but the genius is in finding just the right angle to have set the wheels so that when you just put drive forward, it pushes the whole thing forward. And if you want to turn, press A, then just drive forward. Look at that. Left rotation. As easy as glitch steering. Or as effective, in my opinion. Do it the other way. Press D. Drive forward. Now we're rotating in the opposite direction. And we can do this on the fly while we're driving around. So, the cutting, quick turn, maneuverability on this thing is insane. But look, let's check this out. Let's go over here next to the tank steering system. And this is about as compact as a tank steering system can get, okay? Let's pop out. Look at the wire works here. And look at what we're dealing with here. Yeah, there's a bit of extra detail work that Wizz put in. But that's just for his thruster systems and his gun systems. I mean, the extra fun stuff that he wanted to do. But the steering system is pretty much this. connected directly to the steering. Another one connected to a controller here to create just the right angle for your wheels. And that's all it takes. He's even got suspension integrated. Here you couldn't have suspension on your tank system. It's just too complicated a system. I mean, you could add suspension to it, but that would take the complexity level way out there. So there you have it. We have a wonderful middle ground thanks to Mr. Wizz here. So that pretty much covers it. Build your own camber systems. Base it on this design. Special thanks to Mr. Wizz here. Let's see. I will be putting a link to his vehicle in the description. Mr. Wizz, his land sweeper. Check it out. Dissect it. Take it apart. Enjoy working and building with finally a good middle ground for steering and control. And if you don't like glitches, guess what? It's a glitch-free option. So keep dreaming, keep building, guys. Thanks for watching the video. I know I haven't been able to post in a while because I have just been sick as a dog, man. So trying to get better. Thanks for your patience with me. This is Chief Engineer signing off for now, and we're just going to go to the outro and whatever other cuts and little pieces of interesting stuff I thought was fun to just throw into the end of the video. Till next time, bye-bye. Ooh, this thing is so cool. Because it looks fantastic when it's lit up, the interior now. It looks fantastic.
So is that going to be a mobile base?
Yeah.
Junk base?
Exactly. I mean, it's not properly painted yet, but it will be. Inside. Huh?
Oh, a giant helicopter! Yoink!
Forseti, please have mercy on us. You know, Chief, would you like to fly a bit? Because I'm rubber banding violently.
Alright, let me familiarize myself with these controls. Why is this piston going up a little higher?
It raises you up to the controls because you're a dwarf.
Oh my goodness. That is so well thought out.
That was Beam.
So, what do the green buttons do?
They're backwards and forwards. The middle bottom ones, they're up and down. So just hold down left to rise, because right now we're kind of sinking.
Hold down left.
The left middle button, like. Let me just paint these a bit quickly.
Oh, so that's for us to rise.
Yes, exactly. You'll figure it out. And then the one next to it, to the right of it, is to go down, but we don't want that because Forseti's down there. And you want to hold down the forwards button so we can escape him.
You'll never escape the Forseti in the Forseti copter.
I heard Forseti copter. Chief, drive faster.
I don't know what the forward button is.
That's the forwards button.
Ah.
If you look down, you can see something massive.
I can, and I'm scared. So we're flying this massive chunk of base. And there's a gyroscope inside, made by Lima X.
It's Lima X.
And who do we have out here?
The guy that made the gyroscope. My go-to gyroscope guy.
Is it a different Lima beam?
It's not, no correlation to Lima beam.
What is happening? Why am I sliding around?
I don't know, I think you're sinking. You have to rise. Wait, we're reversing.
Are we?
I think you need to go up. We're kind of sliding along the ground.
Upgraded this, so now it should be a little better.
And anyway, the button in the top right, the switch.
Mm-hmm.
Guys!
Try pressing it while standing on the platform.
Hi guys.
It's like a crow's nest because it's supposed to be like a pirate ship.
That is cool.
Guys, look around.
I see something off in the distance.
Bye!
I believe we should be alarmed.
It sounds like a happy Fazzetti.
I know. Which is more than enough reason to be alarmed.